One here, coming at you with a new Yu-Gi-Oh video. And in today's Yu-Gi-Oh video, we are doing the video that every Yu-Gi tuber does, and that is the Banlist prediction video. So, Banlist prediction time. It's already coming past the time of the no sooner than date. So I thought it was time to put out a Banlist prediction video. Now I don't think we're gonna have a Banlist this week, but we should have one within the next 2 weeks at least. Seeing as we're in a format that is actually quite stale, it's boring, and Konami usually like to fix that stuff as soon as they possibly can. But not too soon, so it's all over the place. So I felt like giving you guys a Banlist prediction video. It's actually the right time to give you one. Should have done one last week, but didn't have the time because it takes a lot of editing and a lot of thought and a lot of research. And I thought I'd also wait until after Euros to actually give my thoughts and opinions on what would personally happen on the ban list. So yeah, all these are my personal thoughts and opinions. Thought about every card on this list, and you guys might think I'm wrong, you guys might think I'm right, but just before you see them, why don't you press the like button and press the subscribe button to see more content from my channel? Why not? Go on, you know you want to. But yeah guys, let's get into this with the banned section. So, first card that should be banned in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG Konami ban list. First card is Danger Jackalope. Now, Dangers, who would have thought they're on a ban list prediction video? Basically, out of the entire Danger engine, Snake, Nessie, Jackalope, Jackalope is the one that is the most broken. Seeing as Nessie only searches the Dangers, Snake only summons itself, and then the others have other random effects when they're discarded. I felt Jackalope was the best card to actually ban because it's the one that just guarantees a summon at all times of any level between 3, 4, and 7. So Jackalope can guarantee you a Snake on the board that would essentially give you a rank 3 play. It can guarantee you a Mothman or a Danger Chupacabra that guarantees you a rank 4 play into a card such as Time Thief Redoer, and also it's just a card that really does put the engine together, because it means even if you do discard that Nessie, you're guaranteed to get that level, whatever level you want between those 3. So I personally feel like Jackalope is the card that should be banned in the Danger archetype. It's a card, it is technically the most broken Danger because it's just the one that guarantees the summon and guarantees you anything you really want in the entire Danger archetype. So I feel like it is the card that definitely does need to be banned because it's just it's the most guaranteed summon in the deck outside of Snake, but Snake isn't as bad purely because Snake only summons itself, whereas this can summon anything else. So I believe Jackalope should be banned. It is a card that does kind of deserve it, but that's just my thoughts and opinion on that card. Next card, Phantom Knights of Rusty Barrage. We all think this card should be hit. Well, it should either be this or Nightmare Mermaid, but personally, seeing as Konami did announce that Nightmare Mermaid was getting a reprint in the Megatins this year, I don't feel like they're going to actually hit the Nightmare Mermaid. So the only logical choice in the cards to hit from the Orcus deck outside of Danger Engine is the Rusty Barrage. Banning Rusty Barrage is the correct play 100%, purely because Rusty Barrage gives your opponent 2 negates through 2 double Fog Blade. It gives you an extra disrupt on your opponent's turn when you summon the Orcus Dingisu from your graveyard to a link marker it points to, and it just gives you multiple searches that isn't really fair in the game, and it is just the card that does really deserve to go the most because of this. It's a card that, yes, isn't as broken as people think on paper, but it's a card that does a lot and does enough in a deck such as Orcus that the card doesn't deserve to be around. So purely because of Orcus, purely because this card just gives you the ability to make up 2 negates for an entire Orcus combo, it deserves to be banned. And obviously it didn't originally initially need to be banned because it's a card that didn't really do a lot back then, but with the initiation of the Orcus deck and the combination between this and the 2 cards and between the whole Orcus archetype, it just broke this card, it made it insane, and it really should be banned for that reason. So those are the only 2 cards that I actually feel like need to be hit. I don't feel like any other cards in this format need to be banned. Like honestly, like maybe Saruja, maybe other cards, but I don't really feel like they need to be banned. I feel like these 2 cards are the only ones that really need to be banned in this format. So yeah, On to the limited section. So the first card in the limited section that I believe should be limited is White Dragon Wyvern Buster. Why White Dragon Wyvern Buster, you may be asking? Well, White Dragon Wyvern Buster is essentially one of the main key cards to the Thunder Dragon deck. Being able to just banish a Thunder Dragon Dark, being able to just banish a Thunder Dragon Roar to essentially summon a free Thunder Dragon from the deck or get a free search of that Thunder Dragon Dark, it's not really fair. And seeing as you are able to then search off the White Dragon into a Dark Dragon to just be able to gain more resources and just be able to go into your Guard Dragon combos, along with Thunder Dragon plays that normally end on a board of the Hieratic Seal, with a Hope Harbinger, a Red Dragon Archfiend, and pretty much anything else you can make, such as a Colossus. I feel like Wyvern Buster is one of the best cards to actually hit out of the Thunder Dragon deck, just because it takes away that ability to consistently being able to banish your Roars, your Darks, and just gain free advantage. Plus, also, it takes away from the Guard Dragon engine as well, where the Guard Dragons just break the game in general and just give you so many free resources that if you ban the Wyvern Buster, a lot of decks lose that ability, yes, but it means it's a lot more fairer. So, Wyvern Buster to 1 I feel like is fair. It doesn't need to be banned, and neither of the dragons need to be banned, but I feel like this will hurt the consistency of the dragon engine, and it just makes the most sense in my opinion. A card that should come off the ban list though, and a lot of people are gonna probably raise your pitchforks, and that is Performer Pow Monkey Board. Put them down, please. Hear me out. Okay, so Performer Power Monkey Board is essentially a card that says you can, in the scale, once while this card is face up in the scale, I believe, just let me refresh my memory, unless you have a, if this card is activated this turn. So basically, you can add any Performer Power monster of level 4 or lower from your deck to your hand. That is this card's effect in the scale, and if you don't have a Performer Power monster in the other scale, it doesn't gain its effect. It becomes a scale 4. Now, a lot of people think this card should stay banned, but when you really think about it, it doesn't really need to stay banned, because cards like Performer Power Joker are on the ban list still. The only good target to really search is Performer Power Pendulum Sorcerer, which doesn't really gain much in this format when you really think about it, because a lot of the Performer Power monsters don't actually help you get very far. And also the card in general doesn't really do much outside of just give you a one-card scale. And I can admit one-card scales can be broken depending on what you're looking at, but having a one monkey board in a format where you don't really have much ability to search it outside of something like Second Donkey or Perform Power Pendulum Sorcerer, which you have to activate first, which you have to Pendulum Summon first, and maybe Electromite, which sure can give you that one card scale, but you have to play other Perform Power monsters that don't really help go into your combo. I personally feel like this is a card that doesn't need to be banned anymore, and as long as we don't see cards like Joker come back, then Monkey Board isn't as broken as people think, because the main reason why cards like Monkey Board were broken was because, oh, this one card gets me to a scale, or a Joker, which then gets me to another scale, but now that Performer Powers have just decreased in power just so much, I feel like Monkey Board is a card that could come off the list to 1 and be actually kind of fair in the game. So, and also there are other one-card scales in this game. Let's be honest. We've got Pendulum Call. We've got the Dauntless Alliance that gets you to the Pendulum Call. We've got random stuff like Dino Mist and all these other decks. So why not give the Performer Powers some love? Without Joker, the deck ain't that good anyway. So Monkey Board to 1, I feel like is completely fair. But for other cards that should be limited, Circle of the Solomon Great, it's free Gazelle. Basically, Solomon Great were in the finals of the EU, the European National Championships. So this card needs to go to 1. Having a card that having so many searches in a deck that get you to Gazelle is insane. And honestly, there are currently 13 ways to get to Gazelle in every Solomon Great, being free Signet Mining, free Circle of the Solomon Great, free Foxy, free Gazelle in general, and a Lady Debug. So, hindering the amount of Gazelles you can play in your main deck, it really does put the deck in a balanced form, and it will be hit. I feel like this is one of the more guaranteed hits to happen in the format, so Yeah, definitely feel like Circle of the Solomon Great can come to 1, will go to 1, so it's definitely a card that does deserve it, because it just, like, literally, when you have two of the same deck in the finals of a national champion, a European national championship, do you think that deck's not going to get hit? No, this deck's going to take some hits, and Circle of the Solomon Great is the first hit that it will take, so... yeah, Circle of the Solomon Great, definitely a deck that I can see card going to 1. It's sad for me because I play Solomon Great, but still. Next card though, Sky Striker Mobilize, it's Sky Striker Mechanism Multi-Roll. This card needs to go to 1. We saw on the last list that Kagari went to 1, and that really didn't do much for Sky Striker because they still had multi-roll. Multi-roll being a card that just lets you set as many Sky Striker Spell Trap cards from your graveyard as possible, or up to the number of Sky Striker Spell Trap cards you activate that turn, is insane. Having that ability, like literally, Sky Striker's strongest ability is their recyclability. Being able to recycle their engages, being able to recycle their Widow Anchors, being able to recycle anything, any Sky Striker spell card, it's insane. And having that effect, having that ability to just recycle everything, is one of the reasons why Sky Striker are one of the most powerful control decks out there currently. So I feel like, seeing as we saw Sky Striker win the the UK National Championships, and it's still making waves in multiple different events, still being able to top, still being able to do this, it's going to get hit. I don't feel like they would ban multi-roll though, because obviously they've got the reprints, like 2 reprints coming for Engage and Widow Anchor and all these other cards in like the Mega Tins, and then Battles of Legend coming out in like a week or so, or in like 2 weeks. So definitely I can see Mechanized Engage multi-roll going to 1, because it keeps the deck alive, but it takes away 2 of their recyclabilities that really does need to happen. So definitely seeing multi-roll going to 1. I have no doubts in my mind that this card will not get hit. This card will get hit, and it's definitely going on the list. It will either be banned or to 1, but I personally feel like it will go to 1. But yeah, other cards, Colossus, Thunder Dragon Colossus should be at 1. It's not a card that is fair in this, well, it can be fair, but it's a card that isn't really fair when you think about it. Seeing as Thunder Dragon Guard Dragon is a deck that just focuses on making multiple Colossuses and then just going into other cards that just allow you to make multiple boards of negates and stuff, it's a card that shouldn't be up more than 1. It prevents your opponent from searching, which is insane. It protects itself from being destroyed by banishing Thunders in the grave, which those Thunder monsters then give you more resources because of, oh, look at me, I banished this Dark to get a card to my hand by you trying to kill my Colossus. It's a card that shouldn't be at multiples, and if it went to 1, it would hurt the deck, but the deck wouldn't die because the deck still has all these other crazy plays that it can still do without the other 2 Colossus. So I feel like Colossus is a card that should go to 1. It's a card that does do a lot against so many different decks, and it's just something I feel like personally should go to 1. And seeing as it's now got it's got multiple different tops in multiple different events, it's got 2 wins. It's got a national win and a YCS win now. I definitely feel like this card can finally go to 1 in Konami's eyes. So yeah, definitely feel like it can go to 1. Even though it's got the reprint coming soon, I definitely can see this card going to 1 nonetheless. So yeah, next card, Saruja Skuldred. You're going to 1 no matter what. This card has to go to 1. It's a card that just gives you so much. Being able to make multiple Sarujas in multiple turns is not fair. Being that it's basically a Pokemon card where you just use 4 monsters, draw 4 cards, put 3 back. I mean, come on. And being able to make multiple in a turn is not fair, so it's definitely a card that I personally feel like should go to 1, and I can honestly see it going to 1 because of this. So Saruja Skuldred, honestly, I see this 100% going to 1. I can't see this not going to 1, seeing it just gives so many decks multiple draws, being able to just be a degenerate card in general, and going to 1 will just stops it from being that degenerate card. Yes, you can still draw those 4 cards and then put 4 back, but you can't do it multiple times in a turn, which I feel like is fair. So Saruja to 1, definitely, in my opinion, should happen. Definitely will happen, in my thoughts. But who knows, it might not. I personally feel like it should go to 1. Konami, if they ban it, they ban it. But I feel like it can go to 1. And the last card of the limited section that I feel like will go from banned to limited is Zodiac Dryden. Honestly, I feel like Zodiac Dryden can go to 1. Having a card that just says, I pop a card on the board is not as insane as people think, seeing as, I summon Dryden, pass, cool. It's not that good. Being able to have that ability to just summon a Dryden and pop one card on your opponent's board will not revitalize Zodiac in any way, shape, or form. And obviously Dryden was one of the best cards in the Zodiac deck because of you were able to just pop one card on your opponent's board. But when you really think about it, in the type of format we're in, having one Dryden doesn't make the deck better. It just makes the deck have one disruption and maybe becomes an engine in other decks. So I personally can see Dryden going to 1. As long as Broad Ball stays banned, Rat Pierce stays at 1, Zodiac won't be the most broken deck in the game ever again. So Dryden to 1, it makes sense to me and it won't break the game. So yeah, Zodiac Dryden to 1. Don't see the problem with that card either. But cards in the semi-limited section. Let's go. So first card in the semi-limited section is Solomon Great Gazelle. I don't think they'll limit this card. I feel like they will semi-limit this card. Putting Circle to 1 and Gazelle to 2, I feel like is the fairest thing you can do for Solomon Greats right now. Seeing as they're still quite a new deck and still a really good deck, just limiting the consistency of cards for Gazelle is the best thing to do. So I feel like putting Gazelle to 2 just limits the amount of cards that can get you to Gazelle, including copies of itself, and obviously putting Solomon Great Circle to 1, it will make the deck more balanced with Gazelle at 2. So Gazelle to 2, I feel like is perfectly fine. Cards that I feel like will come off the limited section, Stratos. Stratos reprint in Battles of Legend, definitely. Konami, you're reprinting Stratos. Give me more Stratos. Yeah, I feel like Stratos will go from 1 to 2. I don't feel like it will go straight from 1 to 3. I feel like that would be too much. But I feel like Stratos going from 1 to 2 is actually very plausible. It's a card that, yes, is a Stratos, which will just search any hero card from the deck. But when you really look at the amount of cards that already do that in the game, such as Candina, such as really, Solomon Great Gazelle is kind of one as well, Lady Debug, anything that really just searches cards from the deck. Like, there are just so many now that having Stratos at 2 wouldn't really change the game and would just give heroes a little bit of a buff, yes, but with the new hero support, it kind of promotes that as well. So I could see Konami putting Stratos from 2 to 1, 1 to 2, which is actually pretty fair in my opinion. The card isn't as broken as people think, and it does help the heroes in a way, so give it back. Give them one more Stratos. Give me one more Stratos. Come on, Konami. But yeah, another card that's going from 1 to 2 though is, in my personal opinion, is Ritual Beast Ulti Conahawk. Ritual Beast, they do nothing. Giving them one more Conahawk is not going to change a thing. Yes, you will see a few regional tops here and there, but honestly, let's be honest. Conahawk won't do anything at 2. It just means that we don't care about Strike anymore, which was the biggest problem about Conahawk going to 1. So giving Conahawk to 2 is fair. They won't do anything more with it at 2, so just give us one more. It's not going to break the deck. And sure, our turns take forever, but look at the format we're in. Orcus turn 1 takes about 5 minutes. Solomon Great takes about 5 minutes. Sky Striker can take about same amount of time. There are so many decks that take forever now. Just give me all Conahawk back as well. Let me play my Ritual Beasts. But yeah. Other cards, though, that are going to be semi-limited, Mystic Mine, it's just a really degenerate card in the game, and I feel like they won't limit the card. I feel like it's better for them to just semi-limit the card, purely because it's a card that just came out in Dark Neostorm, it's not had a lot of time in the game, and yes, it's very degenerate, but taking away one copy means that there's less Mystic Mines to deal with, and it just makes the game a lot easier, so put Mystic Mines at 2, I feel like that's the fairest option right now, seeing it's only just come out. Another card that should go from 1 to 2 though is also Book of Moon. Let's be honest, Book of Moon to 2 will do in Link decks. This is a little evil for me, that I think, though, but I feel like it's a time for this card to come back. With cards like Compulse and Compulse coming back, and other things going off the list from 3 to 1, like Judgment went from 0 to 1. I feel like Book of Moon going from 1 to 2 is actually fully plausible, because yes, it's a very good card and it can just prevent Link plays in general, but honestly, it's a card that can come back to 2 very easily, seeing as it's a set. It sets one card. That's all it does. Okay? It doesn't do much more than that. But yeah, that's all I have for the semi-limited section. And finally, for the unbanned section, the card that I keep saying, Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. It doesn't need to be banned, limited, semi-limited. It will do nothing at free. Just give it to us at free. This card would do nothing at free, and it should really come back to free. But yeah, guys, Luster Pendulum to free. It's the only card I have in for the cards that are going to free. I don't feel like any other cards will go to free on this list. But guys, this is just my thoughts and opinions. Everything on this list I carefully thought about, really did think, would Konami do this? Could Konami do this? And I feel like everything on this list could happen. Honestly, I could see everything happening here, and I feel like it's the most obvious choices in general. Except for maybe one of the ones that I'm like, give it to us. Give me my Konohawk at 2. Stratos can go to 2. Dryden. Dryden does nothing at 1. It does nothing. Monkey Bud. It does nothing but a 1 card scale. There are multiple of those. But yeah. Guys, that's just all my thoughts and opinions. Tell me what you think of my ban list predictions in the comment section below. Tell me if you think I'll be right. Tell me if you think I'll be wrong. Tell me your ban list predictions as well, so I can see what you guys think as well. And I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos. And I'll see you later. Robot1, signing out. Do it, Konami!